Hello and welcome back. Chapter 13. I was settled into my usual place near the window, newspaper spread out before me. The others in the office rarely approached, so when someone said hi from right behind me, I nearly jumped out my skin. It was Murphy. "Hi," I replied. "Would you mind?" He pointed to the empty chair across from me. "Not at all." He fidgeted for a few minutes, shifting this way and that in his seat. "Would you like a section?" I didn't particularly feel like sharing, but I'd hand it over gladly if he stopped staring at me the way he was. I was pretty sure he would decline, though. I already spotted his sweat marks on the business section. "No, I'm fine," he said, but didn't look it. I picked up my pen to continue my crossword for what of something else to do. I just pretended he wasn't looking at me funny, if that were possible. This office really was the land of misfits. Were they like this when they started, or was it something contagious in the bad food or dated decor that seeped into their system after prolonged exposure? "The thing is," Murphy started to say after a few very long and awkward moments, transfers tend not to stay long. We've been burned before, getting attached and all. I think that's why we all listen to fate." I looked up again. Ever since Kitty's party, it had been pretty obvious Face had discouraged the others from too much interaction with me. I nodded, not sure what he was looking to get from me now. I was still a transfer that hadn't changed, and there was nothing I could do about it. "He doesn't take to transfers well, but you especially. It's sort of odd how set he is on getting you out of here. In the past, he's just ignored them." "Any idea why I'm so special?" "He hasn't talked to you about it." "No, but he never reacted this badly before. I know he seems horrible to you, but this is out of character. He's been here longer than any of us, maybe even longer than Harold." "He was here before Harold?" "I'm not certain, since they've both been here before me, but he's been around a long time." He looked around the room before he continued. "I probably shouldn't say anything, but I think fate might have gotten worse after we lost the last karma." My pinpoint dug through the thin newspaper where I'd been writing a T. I wasn't the first karma? Why had that never occurred to me before, that there would have been someone before me? What happened? Where is she? Or he? "I don't know. She was here one day and then gone the next. Harold said she retired." "But you don't believe that?" "Not sure." "Was she a transfer too?" "No. She's been here since her creation. It was just strange how she never told anyone she was leaving." He was fiddling with his hat on the table in front of him, and I can see how her disappearance still bothered him. "Hey, Murphy, do you know all the people in this building?" He seemed to perk back up a bit with the change in subject. "Yep, everyone. Too well, in fact. Same people year after year." "Do you know a guy with long black hair and tattoos, pretty tall, probably about Fate's build?" His face scrunched up and he shook his head. Nobody here fits that description. Why?" Nothing important. I got a weird vibe off someone on the street the other day and thought perhaps they worked here. My senses are far from fine-tuned. I'm sure it was a mistake." I started chewing at the tip of my pen, a bad habit that only reared its head when I was truly stumped. "We haven't had anyone who fit that description in forever." "But you used to?" "Yes, except for the tattoos. The old Reaper, him and Fate used to be real tight. He retired about 20 years ago." "Retired?" "Yeah, went back into the system, got reborn. He didn't say bye either. Seems to be becoming a trend around here." "You sure he's retired?" "The old Reaper. It had to be him. It just fit too neatly. What was he doing at my condo complex then? Did Harold know he was still around? Wasn't Harold in charge of people going back? He had to know. Harold said so. So Fate wasn't the only one with secrets. I looked around the office. I hadn't seen him at all today, which wasn't that unusual, except I had a funny feeling in my gut. I never ignored those. Have you seen Fate today? Only briefly on my way in. He was headed out. He looked a little rushed. Did he mention where he was going? No. That bastard better not have sucked up my energy, gotten a lead on my target, and then dumped me. Anyone else I would have given the benefit of the doubt. Him, he got the benefit of suspicion. It just didn't make any sense. Why would he want my guy? There was a link here. I just had to figure it out. I looked over at Harold's door, the light seeping underneath. Excuse me, Murphy. I got to speak to Harold. He smiled in my direction. Just glad there are no hard feelings between us. Not at all. But there's going to be even more ill will with Fate if he's out here chasing down my murderer without me. I rapped my knuckles on Harold's door and received a response to enter. Where is he? Harold looked up from his papers, then rolled his eyes when he saw who it was. Right back at you, buddy. Who? He asked like he didn't already know. Fate. I don't know. He didn't bother looking up from his paper this time. The agreement was for us to hunt down my killer together. I'm either in this or not. Don't think you people are going to use me and then give me the cut. I stepped closer to his desk. I'd rifle through the stacks of paper myself if that's what I had to do. I don't particularly care about your murderer. Is it really that important for you to be involved on every level of the situation if it's being resolved? You might not care, but Fate seems to. No, he doesn't. It's probably just easier for him to handle it on his own. Saying Fate didn't care was blatantly wrong. I didn't know why, but Fate wanted my guy. Was Harold covering up for him, or did he truly believe that Fate didn't care? Let me make myself clear now. The killer is mine. I'm either privy to every detail, or Fate can figure out another way to get information. He doesn't care that much, Karma. I really don't think. Harold's word faltered as a yellow slip of paper materialized on his desk. Wow, they did just show up. I've been somewhat skeptical of that. Harold looked down and read it quickly. Fine, he said through clenched teeth. What did that say? It agreed you should know. Then where is he? I still don't know. Another slip appeared on top of the last one. Harold looked down and then held it out to me. This one appears to be you. 58 Winding Road, Ungoit. I don't know how to pronounce that. It was a small coastal town in Maine. I recognize the name. I should. I went there with Charlie last year, but I wasn't going to think about Charlie or what I did in my past life. That was still off limits. Do you need assistance getting there? Harold asked. I pocketed the slip. No, I can do speed dial as well as the next gal. I parked in my development, not wanting to leave my Honda at the office when I didn't know when I get back. I wasn't sure what the space requirements were for the door guys, but I figured the beach was a safe bet. It was a beautiful day with people soaking up the rays of sand. I looked around and wondered if they would interfere with my gait. If it were an issue, they'd probably just not show. I flipped open the ancient phone and scrolled down the huge contact list of 3, Harold, Fate, and Door Guy. I pressed number 3 and waited. It rang once and then stopped. Hello? No answer. I need a door. I'm on the beach and need to go to... I dug in my pocket real quick and read off the address. Still nothing. I held the phone out to make sure I had a signal. The screen showed live call, so I continued. Okay, I'll just hang up and wait here then. When fate had called, it had appeared pretty quickly. I pocketed the phone and looked around. It suddenly appeared in the middle of a gully. The Amur guard standing next to the door, knee-deep in water. The door guys probably didn't realize they were in the middle of water. I looked around to see if anyone noticed the huge door or the medieval-looking guard standing next to them. Nothing. Not even the girl who was lying in the door shadow seemed to be aware of what was going on. Okay then, looks like I was good, except for one tiny detail. Is there any way to shift this thing to the left, just about 10 feet or so? I pointed to the spot I thought would work on a nice mound of dry sand. Both of the guards shook their heads. Is it a technical problem or something? Another shake. I got it. Apparently, some people were a little put out about getting held on last time. You have to know the hell was an accident. I didn't realize I caused a storm. One armored hand raised and pointed to the dent in his helmet. They had been pretty big hailstorms. I swear it won't happen again. That might be a lie. I could possibly reoccur, intentionally anyway. His partner raised a gloved hand to point at the dent in his shoulder. Come on, guys. They're barely more than dings. Nothing. No response, and it was tough to read an expression through a masked helmet. I kicked off my sandals and rolled up my pants. Looked like I was going to be wedding. And that's the end of chapter 13. Stay tuned for the next chapter.